negation P conditional to negation Q is called as the inverse, and the conditional negation Q conditional to negation P is called as the contrapositive of the given conditional statement P conditional to Q. What is the contrapositive? Contrapositive is nothing but negation of Q conditional to negation P. That means if I do not get the grade, then I do not work hard. Negation of Q is X is not a prime number. Negation of P is X is not less than 1. Hello dear students, welcome to this session of basic mathematics class. I am Mr. Niranjan, faculty department of mathematics, Vidhyaashram PU College, the Temple of Excellence. In my previous class, we have discussed regarding the verbal statement and writing the symbol for the given compound proposition. Now today in this session, I am going to discuss regarding the converse, inverse and the contrapositive. This is very important concept. So I am going to discuss regarding converse, inverse and contrapositive, as well as the construction for two tables for a given compound proposition. So today let us discuss regarding converse, inverse and contrapositive and the construction for construction of two tables for the given compound proposition. Now let us know what is converse, inverse and contrapositive. Now for any given conditional statement, if P is conditional to Q, so if P is conditional to Q, then Q conditional to P, negation of P conditional to negation Q, negation of Q conditional to negation P. So these are considered as converse, inverse and the contrapositive. Let us discuss in detail. So now the converse, inverse and contrapositive. So given conditional statement, if P is conditional to Q, then the conditional Q conditional to P is called the converse. Q conditional to P is called the converse of the given statement. So if we reverse this, that is, if P is conditional to Q implies Q conditional to P is called as the converse of the given conditional statement. Now, the conditional negation of P conditional to negation Q is called as the inverse of the given statement P conditional to Q. So, negation P conditional to negation Q is called as the inverse, and the conditional negation Q conditional to negation P is called as the contrapositive of the given conditional statement P conditional to Q. So, for any given conditional statement P conditional to Q, Q conditional to P is called as the converse. So, negation P conditional to negation Q is called as the inverse. Negation of Q conditional to negation P is called as the converse of the given conditional statement P conditional to Q. Followed. So, in total, for any given conditional statement, the converse is nothing but Q conditional to P, inverse is negation P conditional to negation Q, and the contrapositive is negation Q conditional to negation P. That's it. Now, let us take a problem based on this. You may expect one question for 2 or 3 marks from this. Now, let us take an example. Write the converse, inverse and contrapositive of the statement, following statement. The first one, if I work hard, then I get first class. Here, this is the conditional statement P conditional to Q. If I work hard, then I get first grade. So, what is P? P is nothing but I work hard. I work hard. What is Q here? Q is nothing but then I get the grade. These are the given conditional statement. Now, just write down one by one. First, what is to write the converse? Converse of the given statement is Q conditional to P. What is Q conditional to P? If I get the grade, then I work hard. That's it. Okay. Now, so converse is if I get the grade, then I work hard. Converse. Next, second one is the inverse. What is inverse? Negation P conditional to negation Q. That is, what is negation of P? If negation of P, if I do not work if I do not work hard, if I do not work hard, then I do not get the grade. That's it. So converse is, if I get the grade, then I work hard. Inverse is negation P conditional to negation Q. That is nothing but, if I do not work hard, then I do not get the grade. Next, the last one is the contrapositive, right? What is the contrapositive? Contrapositive is nothing but negation of Q conditional to negation P. That means, if I do not get the grade, then I do not work hard. That's it. So the contrapositive is, what is contrapositive? Negation of Q conditional to negation P. So that is, negation of Q conditional to negation P means, if I do not get the grade, then I do not work hard. I do not work hard. That's it. This is the contrapositive. See here, very simple concept. Just here P, I work hard, I get the grade. This is P and Q given. So what is to write? Converse. Converse is nothing but Q conditional to P means, if I get the grade, then I work hard. If I get the grade, then I work hard. Next, inverse. Inverse is nothing but negation P conditional to negation Q. Negation of P means negation of P. If I do not work hard, then I do not get the grade. Next, contrapositive. Contrapositive is nothing but negation Q conditional to negation P. Negation of Q means, if I do not get the grade, then I do not work hard. This is how we are going to write the converse, inverse and the contrapositive. That's it. Now, move on to the second example. Now, second example, if x is less than 1, then it's a prime number. So this is P. X is less than 1 and x is a prime number. This is Q. What is given here? So P is x is less than 1. What is Q? Q is nothing but x is a prime number. X is a prime number. X is a prime number. Now first, let me write first. First one is converse. 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 What is converse? Converse is nothing but, so Q conditional to P. Q conditional to P. So how to write? So Q conditional to P means, if x is a prime number, x is a prime number. If x is a prime number, then x is less than 1. X is less than 1. That's it. So this is the converse. So that is, if x is a prime number, then x is less than 1. The converse of the given statement. Okay. Now let us go to the second one, inverse. Inverse. Inverse is negation of P conditional to negation Q. Negation of P conditional to negation Q. Right. Now just that is, what is negation of P? Here it is P. The negation of P is x is not less than 1. Negation of Q is x is not a prime number. That's all. So if x is not, if x is not less than 1, if x is not less than 1, then x is not a prime number, not a prime number. X is not a prime number. That's it. This is the inverse. What is the inverse? If x is not less than 1, then x is not a prime number. Okay? Inverse. Next, the third one. Third one is the contrapositive. Contrapositive. What is the contrapositive? Negation of Q conditional to negation P. That is negation of Q. Negation of Q. What is Q here? Negation of Q is x is not a prime number. Negation of P is x is not less than 1. So if negation of Q, if x is not a prime number, if x is not a prime number, then if x is not a prime number, then x is not less than 1. Not less than 1. That's it. This is the contrapositive. So, if x is not a prime number, then x is not less than 1. This is how we are going to write the converse, inverse and the contrapositive for this given statement. Hope you followed. Now, move on to the similar type problem. If the questions are easy, then the students score better marks. So, here also this is the given conditional statement P and this is Q. What is P here? P, the questions are easy. Then what is Q? Q is nothing but easy. Students score better marks. Students score better marks. Now write one by one. So first one, converse. What is converse? Converse is Q conditional to P. So Q conditional to P means if the students score better marks, then the questions are easy. This is the converse. If the students score better marks, then the questions are easy. Right. Next, inverse. What is the inverse? Second one, inverse. Inverse means negation P conditional to negation Q. What is the negation of P? Questions are not easy. Negation of Q is students will not score better marks. Students will not score better marks. That is the negation of P and Q, right? Or the students do not score better marks. Now, write down the inverse. What is inverse? Negation of P. Negation of P means, what is P? This. If the questions are not easy, if the questions are not easy, then students do not score better marks. That's it. So that is, if the questions are not easy, then the students do not score better marks. That is the inverse of the given statement. Okay. Now the last one, contrapositive. Contrapositive, that is negation of Q conditional to negation P. So what is this equal to? Negation of Q. Negation of Q means if the students do not score better marks, if the students do not score better marks, then the questions are not easy. The questions are not easy. That's it. So if the students do not score better marks, then the questions are not easy, which is nothing but the contrapositive. That's it. Hope you followed. Okay. Now let's move on to the next question, next problem. If x square is equal to y square, then x is equal to y. Simple problem here. What is given? P. X square is equal to y square. What is Q? Q is nothing but x is equal to y. First one, converse. What is converse? That is nothing but Q conditional to P is the converse. Q conditional to P means if, write down Q first. If x is equal to y, then x square is equal to y square. That's all. Converse is if x is equal to y, then x square is equal to y square. Right. Now inverse, second one, inverse. Inverse means negation of P conditional to negation Q. That is, negation means not equal to. That's it. if negation of p means if x square is not equal to y square, then x is not equal to y. That's all. Negation of p is x square is not equal to y square. Negation of q is x is not equal to y. If x square is not equal to y square, then x is not equal to y, right? This is the inverse of the given statement. Next, the contrapositive. Now, the contrapositive is the reverse of this. That's it. Contrapositive. What is contrapositive? Contrapositive is negation of q conditional to negation p. Negation of q means if x is not equal to y, then negation of p is x square is not equal to y square. That's it. So, inverse is if x square is equal to y square, then if x square is not equal to y square, then x is not equal to y. Contrapositive is if x is not equal to y, then x square is not equal to y square. That's it. This is how we are going to write the converse, inverse and the contrapositive for the given statements. Now, move on to the next set of problems. Next concept is tautology and contradiction. This is very important. You will expect 1 5 marks question from this tautology and the contradiction. What is the definition? A compound proposition is said to be tautology if it is true for all the possible combination of the truth values of its components. If for all the combination of its truth values are true, then it is called as a tautology. A compound proposition is said to be a tautology if it is true for all possible combination of the truth values of its components. So, a compound proposition is said to be contradiction if it is false for all the possible combination of the truth values of its components. So, if all the possible combinations are true, then it is called tautology. If all the possible combinations are false, then it is called as a contradiction. So, if it is true and false means then neither tautology nor contradiction. Let us take an example. P conditional to negation P disjunction Q. Write down first P, Q, negation P, then negation P disjunction Q, again P conditional to negation P disjunction Q. As we know, the truth values for P are true, true, false, false. For Q it is true, false, true, false. So, true, true, false, false, true, false, true, false. Negation of P. Negation of T is F, T is F. Negation of F is T, F it is T. Okay. Now, write down the disjunction. Disjunction for negation of P and Q for these two disjunction. Disjunction means false and false is false. In all cases, it is true. So, false and true is true. False and false is false. And true and true is also true. True and false is also true in case of disjunction. Now, write out the conditional statement for P and this. The conditional statement for these two. Okay, conditional means true and false is false. In all cases, it is true. So, true and true is true. Again, true and false is false. Again, false and true is true. And again, false and true is also true. So, therefore, here this is, therefore, all the values, all the truth values in the last column are T, F, T, F. So, therefore, P conditional to negation P disjunction Q is neither tautology nor contradiction. This is neither a tautology nor a contradiction. Okay. Hope you followed. Now, move on to the next problem. Let us take negation of P conjunction P disjunction Q conditional to Q. So, let us split P, Q, then P disjunction Q, negation P, negation of P conjunction P disjunction Q, and the entire negation of P conjunction P disjunction Q conditional to Q. Now, as we know, the truth values for this are true, true, false, false, true, false, true, false. So, what is disjunction? Disjunction means true and true is true. Again, true and false is also true. False and true is also true. False and false is false. In case of disjunction, F and F is F. In all cases, it is true. Now, negation of P. True it is false. True it is false. False it is true. For false it is true. Now conjunction for these two. Negation P. Conjunction for these two. Negation P. Conjunction. So, conjunction means true and true is true. In all cases, it is false. False and true is false. False and true is false. True and true is true. True and false is also false. So, in case of conjunction, true and true is true. In all cases, it is false. Now, write down the conditional statement for negation P, conjunction P, disjunction Q and Q. So, for these two, for this and this, the conditional. Conditional means true and false is false. In all cases, it is true. So, false and true is true. Right. False and false is also true. True and true is also true. False and false is also true. So, what do you say? All the values in the last column are T, 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 T. So, therefore, negation of P, conjunction P, disjunction Q, conditional to Q is a tautology. This is a tautology because all the truth values in the last column are T, 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 T. So, hence it is a tautology. Hope you followed. That's it. So, this is how we are going to verify whether the given statement is a tautology, contradiction or neither tautology nor contradiction. Okay. So, hope you followed. So, that's all regarding today's session. Let us meet with different types of problems in the next session. Thank you. Thank you very much.